This problem is going to show an example of how to solve a word problem, but we're going to use a system of two equations. And you can look at the other video that I did that shows just how to solve those systems. But in this example, we're first going to have to turn this word problem into one of those systems. First, we're going to want to probably reword this problem. Just use different words. And instead of writing the first sentence the way that they've written it, we're just going to change one or two words here. And I've also used colors. They've said the second of two numbers is 4 times the first. We're still going to say the second of two numbers, but you'll see I have it in blue there. And instead of the first, we're going to change that to the first number. The second equation says their sum is 50. Sum, S-U-M, means we're going to add. So we're going to reword that second sentence the way that I did with red and blue on that second line, red, blue, and green. We're going to write instead, when the first number and the second number are added, the result is 50. That's what it means to take the sum of two numbers. And then that third sentence says find the numbers. It means we want to find the first number and the second number. Anytime we have a word problem, the first thing we want to do is ask, what is it that we're trying to find? Well, they've told us. Sometimes they'll ask it, they'll put a question mark, but they've told us they want us to find the two numbers. They want us to find the first number and the second number. Next thing we need to do, and we probably need to write this down, and I have, so you should probably write it down too. Pause this video if you need to. But we're going to write down that we're going to let A represent the first number and B represent the second number. Now, you could have used any letters. You could have used X and Y or anything else, or symbols. But for the time being, let's stick with simple variables or letters. Now we're going to want to change or reword again our sentences. It says that the second of two numbers, the first sentence says the second of two numbers is 4 times the first number. All I've done here is write it down again, but change the 4 to a green. Now what we'll want to do is condense that and replace what we have said we're going to write for the first number, A. We're going to replace the first number with A, and we're going to replace the words second number with a B. So here we see that instead of saying the second of two numbers is 4, we're going to say B equals 4, B is 4. And instead of times the first number, we're going to say times A. Once again, instead of the second of two numbers is 4 times the first, we're going to say B is 4 times A, because B is our second number and A is the first number. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. As many times as I've done these problems, I actually need to write down what A and B represent. Otherwise, halfway through the problem, I'll forget them. And again, it's a problem where you'll have to do probably quite a bit of writing. Next, we'll want to change that sentence, that simple sentence, B is 4 times A, into an equation. B is means B equals, and 4 times A just means 4A. We almost never use the times symbol because it looks too much like the letter X. So we can avoid that by just writing 4A or 4 and then the A in parentheses, or 4 with a dot and then an A. But the simplest way is just 4A. B is 4 times A is more easily written as B equals 4A. Now we want to change that second sentence into an equation. So we can write that second sentence and the first number and the second number added, the result is 50. That's what they meant by the sum is 50. We're just going to call that A plus B is 50 equals 50. The sum of the first number, A, plus the second number, B, equals 50. Now that we've got these two equations that I've have a box around, we're going to replace one of the letters with one of the expressions. So we want to look at these two equations in the boxes, and try to see which one of these equations, if either one, has a letter that's by itself. Well, the first one does that. This equation here does just that. Instead of writing B, we're going to write 4A. But we're going to do that in this second equation right here. So I'm going to write it again. I'm going to write the second equation when B is black though. I'm going to write A plus B equals 50. Then I'm going to write it one more time, but when I write it this next time, instead of writing A plus B, I'm going to write A plus 4A. I'm going to change the B to the 4A. So that'll be A plus 4A equals 50. Once again, if you want, and you don't have to, but I'm going to put a 1 in front of that, that's fine. And if you don't put it, just make sure you're aware that it's there. So we've got 1A plus 4A equals 50. Of course, 1A plus 4A is 5A. 5A equals 50. And if we divide by 5 on both sides, we'll get A equals 50 divided by 5 is 10. Now we're going to do that substitution again. This time, whenever we see the letter A, we're going to write 10 instead. So we can go back once again to this same equation that we did, or we could use the second one also, and we could write B equals 4 times A. I'm going to write it again, even though it's written. Write it down here. B equals 4, but I'm going to put the A in parentheses. 4 times A. Now that's an A, sorry. Now what I'm going to do is replace that A, and I'm going to get it from right here. I'm going to get it from right here. I'm going to replace that A with a 10. So B is going to be equal to 4 times 10. Of course, 4 times 10 is 40. So B is equal to 40. So we've got both of the variables that we were trying to find. The first number, which was A, is 10, and the second number is 40. So our two answers, it's a two-part answer, is 10 and 40, or 40 and 10. So we'll find that answer on the answer sheet. This was the first problem from that worksheet that I gave you.